What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the What's on Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Brinson. Let's get into it. So this episode, well, I feel it's long overdue, but things are still happening with this beef. So I'm still technically on time because Kendrick is preparing to do the video for Not Like Us, and this has been one of the greatest hip hop beefs in hip hop history, and I'd say the greatest that I've personally been alive for, because I wasn't alive obviously for the Pac and Biggie or like Eminem and Mariah Carey, even though she wasn't hip hop, or like Nas, Jay-Z. So I get the privilege of being alive during this moment and covering it the best I can. So in the first half of this episode, I want to cover the beef from an objective quote unquote standpoint, meaning I want to sort of report on how we got to where we are and analyze each song without giving my opinions, because ironically enough, even though I had a side quote unquote that I was on when the beef started, and I have different preferences and everything, but I still try to be someone who tried to be as unbiased as possible. And even with that, people I talked to about the beef were like, "Oh, you're just a blank fan, or you're just one-sided." And for future notice, before I even get to giving my opinion on this battle, I'm an Eminem fan. Eminem's my favorite rapper, so this don't really affect me that much. So in terms of my fandom, but I'm also not the type of person to latch myself onto an artist during the beef, which I'm gonna talk about during this episode as well, because some of y'all are weird. But I'm gonna talk about as much origin as I can without obviously keeping y'all here too long, and then just talk about as much as I know, because these two been subliminally dissing each other for like over a decade. Like, to start somewhere, or where I'm gonna start, is the Control verse. Now, I'm pretty sure that's where this all originated from, but somebody in the comments could correct me if I'm wrong. But this all started with Kendrick's Control verse on Big Sean's song. And by the way, good verse from Big Sean. I know Kendrick's verse outshined that song due to what the content of that verse, but good song. And in this verse, Kendrick called out a few rappers, with one of them being Drake. He said, what's the exact line? Like, A$AP Rocky, Drake, or Cole, A$AP Rocky, Drake, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Like, the energy, it was weird, because I can understand both sides of how you may feel about this verse. On one end, for the people that hyped up the Kendrick verse and Kendrick himself, it was a form of competition. Like, at the end of the day, no kumbaya, no we all friendly. I am better than you all, and like he said, I got love for y'all, but I'm trying to make sure your fan base never even heard of you, that because of how good I am. Like, I personally love that energy, but at the same time, I do understand and more so lean towards the opinion that Drake had of like it being kind of corny, or he didn't even use the word corny, but clout chasey, and which entertainers and rappers clout chase, but I get where he was coming from, because he was saying like, I mean, if we on this type of energy, let it be real. Like, I ain't just no like competitor type thing, or like we competing, so I'm just throwing funny jabs at you. Because he said like after that verse, he dapped me up like it was all love, but you recording that, so if it's beef, have it be real beef. And in terms of my opinion, I know I mentioned like I'll keep my opinions to like the latter half. I meant in terms of like this year's version of the beef, but anyway, so. And shout out Sean C, YouTuber Sean C. He also echoed that opinion when he was going over like the origins of this beef, and somewhat. So fast forward to 2024, because again, these two been sending subliminal shots for years. I mean, Kendrick on it's so many. I don't want to quote nothing wrong, so I'm not gonna quote anything wrong, but songs on like All Right. Put it like this, to kind of fast forward a little bit to where we at today, the Not Like Us or the Pop Out and Friends show that Kendrick did, you could low-key say all of those songs are Drake disses. Like All Right, King Kunta, like all of them Drake disses. But fast forward to 2024, and we get First Person Shooter. First of all, we get For All the Dogs. I know Drake gets a lot of hate, especially now. It's fun to hate Drake, and that album specifically, people weren't the biggest fan of, but I personally like For All the Dogs, and I personally like First Person Shooter. And the story of First Person Shooter, so we get Drake and J. Cole on a song, and that wasn't it wasn't the first time, if I'm not mistaken, but it was very, very rare. Like, it only happened like maybe once or twice, Drake and J. Cole getting on a collab, and they collabed for the First Person Shooter song, and it blew up. It was #1 song in the world. Usually when Drake drops an album, one of those songs are going to go #1 anyway, but that song, it was competing with ID, or I Don't Give a Fuck, his song with Yeet. And I was actually surprised First Person Shooter got the #1 over IDGAF, because the song with Drake and Yeet, people have been asking, me included, asking for a Drake and Yeet song for a while now, and that song was the more like 2024 friendly, or 2023. Did that song drop? I think that album dropped last year, so or early this year, I can't remember, but that was, or at least I thought that was the more like record to go #1, with like it being Yeet and Drake. But Drake and J. Cole got the #1, and it was J. Cole's first #1. And J. Cole addressed things on there like the Young Boy diss, or what people perceived as a Young Boy diss with his song on with Lil Yachty. It wasn't a Young Boy diss. He still want to work with Young Boy. And he made it very clear, and this is an important point for later, in this verse, there were lines where he made it very clear, if you mess with him, or if he diss you, just know that, what do you say? Just know that I diss you, you'll get it like I'm on your caller ID. Rhyming with me is the biggest mistake. The Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake. Like, throughout this verse, he pretty much was just talking this shit. Like, saying, he literally says in the song, who the best MC? Is it K Dot? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three, like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Like, Cole was talking on that verse. And Drake also did his thing on that song too. Fun fact, so majority of people feel J. Cole had the best verse on that song, and I agree and disagree. In terms of my favorite verse, I disagree, because my favorite verse on that song is Drake's last verse when he switched up the beat. I'm about to click up on it. Like, that Drake, he left Earth, in my opinion, on that second verse. But I do also agree that in terms of like, if I were to not say my favorite verse and give like best verse on that song, you might have to give it to Cole, just from the beginning of the song, like First Person Shooter mode. We turning your song to a funeral. To the niggas that say they got office, you better be talking about working in cubicles. Like, he was, and then the numero uno, me and Drake's the big as the Super Bowl. Me and Drake better big as what? Big as the Super Bowl. But the difference is, this is two guys playing shit they just did in the studio. Niggas always sending verses back to me, and they be terrible, just like a 2-year-old. Like who the goat? I'm like, go ahead, say it, then. Who the goat? Like, that song was fire. But we get that, and people had speculated. Now, I was out the loop. I didn't expect this to happen, but people were speculating like Kendrick gonna have something to say about that, because even though he cool with them, Kendrick don't like the big three comparison, and especially with Drake, he said, don't compare them niggas to me. And let's just go to like that, bro. When the night like that dropped, I was out the loop. I knew Future and Metro was dropping an album, but I wasn't like on it. I was thinking like it was gonna be one of those albums where if I listened to it, it was gonna be the next day. Like, I wasn't waiting at 12 a.m. for this album to drop, until I started seeing some tweets like, Kendrick, this is Cole and Drake. Kendrick, this is the big three. And I'm like, okay, people probably just taking it too far. Let me see. Let me first of all listen. And by the way, not even just Kendrick. Again, I know this is another one of them songs where people only go talk about the Kendrick verse for the most part. Future and Metro did their thing. Like, this is a legit hit record. Like, getting down on the phone and do like that. Niggas from the bottom really like that. But these niggas talking out of their neck. Don't pull no coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. Okay, let's get it, bro. DLT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. See, it's a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, huh? Like, that whole, when Kendrick came, put it like this. When Kendrick drops, when any of the big three, but specifically when Kendrick drops, there's a shift that happens in the world. Like, even when he comes on that verse for the first time, you feel like, damn, this nigga is really here. And he dissing them, like, he's here to say, like, I am the best. Do not compare them two to me. He literally says, fuck the big three. It's just big me. And again, even that entire verse has, like, entendres and bars in it. Again, say a lot of goofies with a check. Drake for all the dogs. Goofy, dog for Mickey Mouse. Drake also had a deal with Nike. That's a crazy little bar. But for the most part, the main thing that was posted, what I was seeing was fuck the big three is just big me. And I'm thinking like, okay, is that it? Like, is that all he said? Again, that's huge, but is that really it? Bro, the ending scheme of for all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He go see Pet Cemetery. Bro, I think I threw my phone. I'm like, no, that scheme. Because for me to break it down, for all your dogs getting buried, for all the Dogs Drake album, that's a K with all these nines. K9 gun, but also K9 a dog. He go see Pet Cemetery. So he kept the dog, he kept the pet scheme. And Pet Cemetery is a book. I think it's a movie too, but it's something from Stephen King. Pet Cemetery, killing you, all the dogs. That scheme was crazy. And even though there were definitely shots at both Cole and Drake on that song, because again, said fuck the big three, it's just Big Me, that's both of them. And it's a direct response to what Cole said about we the big three, like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. He also said, niggas clicking up, but can I be legit? No 40 Water, tell him, but be legit. 40 Water was a group, or they was a duo. Clicking up, or J. Cole and Drake clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 Watt. That was a nice little scheme. But even though those disses on there for both of them, you could tell the energy, like the disrespect was to Drake. Like for Cole, it felt more as though like, don't compare yourself to me. Like I'm better than you. For Drake, it was not only I'm better than you, I don't like you. So we get this and people start going crazy. We're like, oh, we definitely need to respond. I'm people, by the way. I'm included. Like, oh, they definitely need to respond. This needs to be the moment Drake and Kendrick finally battle it out. Some people were low-key more excited even for Cole versus Kendrick, because that was a big thing between like the two lyricists, and people were more so disregarding Drake role in this battle because they felt that there was an upper echelon of lyricism that Kendrick and Cole brings that Drake couldn't bring. So then we get to it again. I'm going to go back, give my opinions on everything, but I'm just giving a little overview. So then I think, almost 2 weeks go by, people speculating like, oh, Drake, he may not do nothing. He may let it go. He don't have to respond, blah, blah. And we get a leak. And nowadays, it's so hard to tell the difference between real and AI. And it was an unmixed version of what became the real song, Push-Ups. And people were like, I mean, this cool, but like it's not. It's AI. People were convinced it was AI. I didn't give it, like, I didn't listen to it. I wanted to wait and see what happened. Like if Drake was gonna say something, if Act was gonna say something. But people, I think I saw, I don't know. I think No Life Shaq. Shout out No Life Shaq YouTuber. I think he was the first reactor that I was sub to that reacted to it, and I think he reacted to the leaked version. Like when it was still, people were still calling it Drop and Give Me 50, when it ended up being called Push-Ups. But Drake, Academics is on stream, and he listens to the leak, and he like, okay, it's cool, but we don't know if it's real. This is the leak version. He texts Drake, and he was asking him, was that the leak version? Was it real? And he's, according to Academics, Drake didn't answer the question, but he was trying to get the song down. And the next thing you know, he sends Academic like, hey, forget that leak, or play this version. Academics go crazy. He like, no way. Especially he was at the end of the song. What top are you smoking on, Kendrick? Drop. Academics was lit, and the whole world was lit. We like, Drake actually responded. Like, we really doing this for real. And during all this, it's like the rap apocalypse is happening on Drake, because not only Kendrick dissed him, but Future and Metro, the whole kind of underlying theme of that album, I mean, it was, first of all, it was called We Don't Trust You, and then the next iteration was We Still Don't Trust You. And it was kind of this marketing scheme and underlying message of we don't trust you specifically, Drake. Like, Drake and Future end up falling out from apparently over a girl, which... and Metro and Drake had already been beefing. I mean, the tweet and deleters, Anita Maxine. Like, he had already addressed how him and Metro don't like each other. So that was already been a thing. And then A$AP Rocky dissed him on these projects. Weeknd dissed him on these projects. Kanye came out and remixed Like That and dissed Drake and J. Cole. Like, it was a lot going on. So that's where Drake got the 20v1 narrative from. It was a reference to the type of videos you may see on YouTube, like the dating videos of a 20v1, where it's one person and they speed date 20 people. Drake took it as, I'm one rapper and these other 20 dudes dissing me. So what the fuck is this, a 20v1, nigga? What's a prince to a king? He a son, nigga. Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums. Like, that's where that whole thing came from. And by the way, Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums. We're going to talk about that later. But... so then Drake releases that, and then Kendrick Kendrick was on the clock, quote unquote. People like, oh yeah, Kendrick got to respond. He take way too long to drop. He probably not even gonna say nothing. Drake up right now. And then as we're waiting this, as Drake taunting, the drop, as everybody who was a Drake fan was taunting Kendrick and saying like Kendrick, he too scared to respond. Drake proceeds to drop another track called the Tailor Made Freestyle. And in this freestyle, he used an AI voiceover of Tupac and Snoop Dogg to mock Kendrick Lamar, because Kendrick genuinely think he's Tupac. Like, he compares himself to Pac a lot, and Pac and Snoop Dogg are also West Coast legends. So he was using those West Coast legends to mock Kendrick's fame and respect in the West Coast. And with this, he was also saying like, oh, like in the Tupac iteration, I think it was, oh, Kendrick, you gotta bring up how he be with the kids, and you gotta do this to save you, so you gotta respond. And then at the end, Drake started rapping, and Drake started talking as usual. It was a good verse. It wasn't a verse, and it wasn't a song that I went back to. Like, I think I've literally only heard it twice, not counting the reactions that I watched to it, because I was kind of like 50-50 on the AI thing. Like, I felt it was funny. I felt it was a good move at the time, but I also felt like he could have just rapped that, or he could have just like mock Tupac voice, or he could have did it without AI, especially since apparently Drake wasn't a fan of AI. So for him to not be a fan but then use AI was kind of hypocritical, but pretty good. It was a nice little petty little back-to-back type of thing, trying to mock Kendrick. And then it was called the Tailor Made Freestyle because he was doubling down on that point that Taylor Swift made Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar, he wasn't going to drop anything while Taylor Swift dropped because he was scared to do so for his numbers. Whereas it was at first it would have been hypocritical from Drake if he didn't drop it when Taylor Swift dropped her next part of her album, because Drake has even said Taylor the only person that make him push his album back. Which Taylor, bro, shout out the Swifties and Taylor Swift. I personally rock with Taylor Swift, and her fan base is like, she could literally drop this podcast episode, it won't even be her, she drop it, retweet it, I'll be famous overnight. So it was like Taylor made you, and push-ups. He said you got to do a verse for the Swifties, or Maroon 5 need a verse, you better make it witty, and we need a verse for the Swifties. Like, he was doing the whole like trying to mock Kendrick. Like, even though you can people like you criticize me for being a pop star, you going doing witty songs with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift, like, you gotta look yourself in the mirror type thing. So then we still waiting. Again, I think by this time 2 weeks is gone by, 12 days, I don't remember. Then we get Euphoria. And there was a lot of layers in Euphoria just from the title of it alone. I mean, just the definition of Euphoria is the cover art of the song, and Drake is which I didn't notice, but I think executive producer of Euphoria. And also Euphoria is a show that has a lot of sexual activity with people who are underage. And that was the start of what Kendrick was going to be pointing at with Drake. Even in the song Euphoria, he says, I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him. I could double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. Know you a master manipulator and habitual liar too, but don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you, which is that's a crazy opening. That also kind of confirmed that I think the Heart Part 4 was the Heart. That was a Drake diss as well. So then we get that, and a few days go by, and we're still wondering, like, okay, Drake, you got to say something. Hey, you did like that. You did push-ups. He did Euphoria. Are we battling? So then a few minutes go by, a few days go by, and then we get Family Matters. And some people feel this is the best Drake has rapped in years. I wouldn't personally go that far, just because Drake has still been rapping good, in my opinion. Like, you got verses like Meltdown, Churchill Downs. Like, Drake is a really good rapper, in my opinion. But Family Matters drop, and I can imagine for Drake fans, it was the best, 20 minutes of their life. Because, I don't even think an hour went by where Meet the Grams dropped. And just go look up the reactions of Meet the Grams, and don't even watch them. Just look at the thumbnails and the covers of those reactions. People's faces were stunned. People are like, first of all, I know he didn't just respond in 20 minutes, but what he's saying in this track is very dark and ominous. This nigga literally said, your son, talking to his mom. First of all, in the song, Kendrick Lamar's talking to Drake's family, Meet the Grams, Aubrey Graham. He's talking to his dad, son, mother, and apparently more kids, including a daughter. We'll get into that once I start giving my opinions during the breakdown. But He literally says in the song to his mama, "Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. Him and niggas like Weinstein should be locked up in a cell for the rest of their lives." Like, saying that Adonis, like, just play this when you 18. Like, it was some really disrespect. Like, it was the true meaning of a diss track, a disrespectful record. Because he was talking spicy. I'm telling you, PSA, leave short, dark-skinned niggas alone. Like, whether it's people like DaBaby, Kendrick, short, dark-skinned niggas be angry. Like, and then don't pick with them either. And matter of fact, to piggyback on that point, shady aftermath niggas, leave them alone. Like Kendrick, Eminem, affiliate 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, leave them alone, because you're not gonna win the battle. Like, it's go get bad for you. Like, shout out Drake, Scary Hours. It's go get scary hours if you mess with people like Eminem and Kendrick. And then short dark niggas, like, yeah, Kendrick, DaBaby, leave them alone. Leave people alone. Just leave people alone. And just leave people alone. So he drops that, and then we think like, okay, you know what? Kendrick, he successfully stifled Drake's drop, which, well, I'll get into that once I get my opinions, but he stifles Drake's drop, he stops it, we done, right? People were saying, this Meet the Grams track is boring, like the instrumental's really boring, Family Matters is more of the hit and a diss, Kendrick can't make a hit record. For some odd reason, people felt the beat of Euphoria was a bad beat, and then people felt the Meet the Grams too slow. So Kendrick like, all right, bet. Mustard on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a freak though, man down, call an ambulance, tell him free throw, another nigga to the cross, he walking around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass? Like, not like us drops. And first of all, shout out DJ Mustard. Hadn't heard that name in a minute before Not Like Us, and Kendrick gives him the shout out and uses his beat, and Mustard had ended up saying that he didn't even know Kendrick was gonna use that beat. Like, he was driving on the freeway, and he get notifications like, Mustard on the beat, ho, like Kendrick used your song. He thinking like, what are y'all talking about? And then he goes and listens. He like, I'll be damned. Isn't it? Kendrick really did it. And it was a big, and still is a big moment for the West Coast, because DJ Mustard, Kendrick, those are two prominent figures on the West Coast. And I don't know if Mustard's from Compton, but from Compton specifically. And it brought the entire world, it felt like, and especially the West Coast together. And in this song, Kendrick tripled down on considering Drake and his entourage, or the people around him, quote, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 that fuck bud, wop, 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 wop. I'm gonna do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. And he got him back for that, because in Family Matters, Drake was, I heard them one of them little kids, maybe day free. So Kendrick definitely petty. Both these niggas petty. But Kendrick gets him back for that, and then since Not Like Us, it's been skyrocketing. Like, it's been the number one song in the world for a while. I think statistically it was number one song in the world for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. It was to the point where Eminem returned and dropped Houdini. Shout out Eminem, by the way. Abracadabra. And from my last streak, I'm about to read it. Like, shout out Houdini. Eminem still got it, man. The Death of Slim Shady coming soon, this summer. But it was Eminem. His fan base, especially being a part of it, unfortunately, in my opinion, he by far has the most toxic fan base. But other than the Swifties and maybe the Beehive, Eminem fans ride heavy for him. Like, last time I checked, he had almost 70 million views on Houdini. And I bring this up because it ended up being the second biggest song on the charts and on the Billboard. You know what was the first? Not Like Us. Like, Not Like Us is still, at the time when it first dropped, it was still over Houdini, even with Eminem fans. Like, even Eminem and Eminem fans couldn't get over the hype of Not Like Us. Even shout out Tommy Richmond, what's the name of the song? I ain't never rapped a set, baby. $1 Million Baby. That was number 2 in the world, and it got stopped by Not Like Us. Not Like Us stopped a lot of songs from going number 1, crazy enough. And even right now, to this day, we get fast forward after this, people had their opinions of the battle. People had their opinions of Not Like Us. And some time has gone by, and Kendrick does the smartest thing in the world. So one of the rebuttals he had for Drake in Not Like Us was rebuttaling the line Drake said, you be rapping like you trying to get the slaves free. And Drake had also said in Slime You Out For All the Dogs with SZA, whipped and changed you like American slaves. Which to sing that, crazy. To say a line like that is crazy being a Canadian. and then or being a Canadian, and then singing that like he did in the tone he did, he funny. But Kendrick rebutted that by saying, once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. And he broke it down the whole, like, he felt Drake uses Atlanta, their culture, to big itself up. He talks about how Drake, again, is a mixed race Canadian, a mixed Jewish Canadian, but he's talking about American slaves, and he doubled down on that. So Kendrick proceeds to do the smartest thing and host a show on Juneteenth. Like, I don't know if it was him or his marketing team. Them niggas got it. Like, that was a very smart marketing thing. And he did it in the West Coast, and he had a lot of West Coast legend. He had put it like this. He probably had every West Coast legend there, except maybe Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg wasn't there, except Snoop Dogg and The Game. Like, those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. And Tyga were the only three, like, big West Coast people that he didn't have there. And E40. I'm surprised 40 Water wasn't there. But he had Dr. Dre there, Roddy Ricch, DJ Mustard, Tyler, the Creator, who I didn't know was from L.A., Rambo, Rayvon, a lot of people. Lots of people. And he performed, this dude. He performed Not Like Us. I kept seeing 5 or 6. I know for sure, or from the majority of what I saw, he performed Not Like Us 5 times in a row. And I don't remember if he performed it a 6th time, but he performed that song 5 times in a row. And he came out to Euphoria and was changing lyrics like, give me Tupac ring back and maybe I'll show you a little respect. And then we could be on a 2-hour time difference, because in the original song he says we could be on a 3-hour time difference, because LA, or I think he live in New York now, but LA or New York and then Canada. Whereas he was in LA performing that song and Drake was in Houston. So that's a 2-hour time difference. And he changed it to say 2-hour time difference. Evil genius. But, and now currently where we are, he's shooting the music video right now. And it seems like it's going to be a big music video. Like, from the footage I've seen, there's moments where you can't even see him because he's already tiny. He like 5'5", and people like over him, yelling over him, they not like us, and like over, like you can't even see him. And I can't even see him in the picture he took at the Pop Out in France tour. Like, I couldn't even see the picture, or I had to look for him specifically. So that's where we are. And now I'll get to the point where I'll start talking about my personal opinion. So I'm going to go back to everything I just said. So where do I want to start? So before this battle starts, in terms of the ranking of the big three, I had a personal ranking of the big three. I personally felt that J. Cole, if I were to I ordered it differently between best rapper and best rap artist. And if, similar to if you've heard my episode about differentiating greatest and best, when I talk about like best rapper, like I feel Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time. And I feel, let's say Eminem and Kanye, for example. I think Eminem is a way better rapper than Kanye West. I hope that's not a hot take. At the same time, I know this will be a hot take, but I hope it really isn't. I feel Kanye is a way better rap artist than Eminem. Meaning, I feel Eminem raps circles around Kanye, but I feel Kanye makes the better music, the better artist, better producer, better at making a song. Whereas Eminem, I feel, is the better, like, just at rapping, just rapping ability. I feel there's nobody greater, or better, really, at least how I feel at this moment, than Eminem at that. But Kanye, I feel, makes way better music than Eminem, as somebody who's Eminem's his favorite rapper. So, in terms of the best rap artist, I mean, I felt you were lying if you said Drake wasn't the best artist of the three. Like, if you say Kendrick and J. Cole make better music than Drake, I feel you were lying. And still kind of to this day, I feel you're lying. Again, it's subjective. You can obviously have your opinion. But I feel clearly Drake makes the best music of the three. As far as the rap ability goes, it flip-flopped for me between J. Cole and Drake in terms of who I felt was the best out of the three, where I felt J. Cole, I ordered it as J. Cole at 1, Drake at 2, Kendrick at 3. Very hot take, because whether you're talking about rap artist or rap or just better, who's better at making music, who's better at rapping, people feel Kendrick Lamar is at 1. And to sort of reveal, quote unquote, my opinion before the battle started, I was cheering for Drake. I felt Drake, as I just said, I felt Drake was a better rapper than Kendrick. I felt, to this day, by the way, even though, as you'll hear as I explain, my opinion has shifted my opinion in terms of who won the battle, who was winning, et cetera, Drake is still clearly out-rapped Kendrick Lamar on the songs they got with each other. Like, for some reason, people feel it's a hot take that Drake has the best and better verse on fucking Problems than Kendrick. It blows my mind to this day that that's a hot take, because even hotter of a take, that Kendrick Lamar verse is not that good to me. Like, I wish I had the Be So soundboard, but like the doom, but that verse is not that good to me. Like, the last part of like I'm Kendrick Lamar, like that part saves that verse from being a bad verse to me. Like, if that part isn't in the song, that shit is a bad verse. Like, that shit is not that good. But when Drake come on that song, Grab Down and Get Your Eagle on, like his flow on that, what he's saying, I feel Drake clearly had a better verse on that. And then from what I've talked to people agree Drake had a better verse on Poetic Justice, but again, I feel Drake clearly out-rapped Kendrick on those two songs. So with that feeling and how I feel with Drake as a rapper, I felt Drake was a better rapper than Kendrick. And what really pissed me off, and this is the same thing, and this is another reason why I say leave these Interscope Aftermath niggas alone. Kendrick Lamar has a fan base where in their eyes he can do no wrong, and people express that like Kendrick is this perfect type of artist, and he's not. No artist is perfect. It's the exact same type of fan base as Eminem fans. The only difference is Eminem fans are majority white and racist. So and I don't say that lightly. Like, literally, if you watch reaction videos of Eminem, if you say anything negative about Eminem, you're getting called every racial slur in the book, and you dumb. The only difference with Kendrick is you're not getting called racial slurs. But if you say anything bad about Kendrick, you're the worst human being in the world. That really bothers me with people, with artist fan bases. And with me already feeling Drake's the better rapper anyway, that had me cheering for Drake in the battle, because I'm like, for some reason, like I mentioned earlier, people were making it seem like Drake had no shot. Like, some people were saying like, I'd rather have Cole and Kendrick because Drake can't really compare. I'm like, Drake has out-rapped Kendrick Lamar twice and got verses like Churchill Downs. Like, Drake can really rap. And I know, to address the elephant in the room with Drake, of him having ghostwriters, it does, especially as a writer personally, it does take away few points that Drake has known ghostwriters. But there's been people who have literally said Drake has wrote things for them, like Kanye. One of the big things between Kanye and Drake, by the way, I find it funny that Drake just ignored Kanye in this whole thing. Majority of people did, because the diss was not that good. But if you reference like the Doopy freestyle, Drake literally says father had to stretch his hands with crazy scale. But people like Kanye said Drake is wrote from. Lil Yachty claimed Drake wrote the Churchill Down verse in 15 minutes. And even though that's one of my favorite verses, just period, I don't believe he wrote it in 15 minutes. But the point I'm making is, I know, or at least I believe, Drake can write, and Drake can write. I feel he wrote all the disses, and I feel all the lyrical quote unquote tracks Drake wrote, like Scary Hours 3, Meltdown. Put it like this: people feel some type of way when Drake verses come out that leak, like Ratchet Happy Birthday, or apparently there's a rumor like Weeknd wrote majority of Take Care, which that's crazy. But one of the most recent ones that came out was Mob Ties, which crazy how much he copied referenced quote unquote old dude Vori, I think. But put it like this: if the verses where Drake is like rapping come out that he had a ghostwriter, like if I found out Drake didn't write Churchill Downs, for example, he didn't write the Meltdown verse, he didn't write Scary Hours 3, those type of tracks, if it come out that he didn't write those, then I'm gonna start feeling like, damn. Especially if it ever come out that he didn't write the Churchill Down verse, because whenever I defend Drake's rapping ability, that's immediately the verse I go to. So if it ever come out he didn't write that verse, I'm gonna be heartbroken. I don't know if it's specifically that verse comes out that he didn't write. I don't know if I can listen to Drake again. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I really, really love that verse. Like cold hearted and heated floors, no parental guidance. I just see divorce, therapy session. I'm in the reading room reading Forbes. First of all, one of the few lyrics that engaged beautifully for Drake was "Lucky me, people now are linking, people that don't fuck with me are linking up with people that don't fuck with me to fuck with me. This shit is getting ugly, and every situation is transactional." And I don't get how people feel though. Drake not a good rapper, but if verses like that come out that he had ghostwriters with, then that would genuinely disappoint me. But at the same time, I don't know these people. I don't know who in the studio with them. I don't know who write these verses. I don't. To be honest, I low-key don't care, to be honest, because Or I don't care that much, because even with the people that wrote those verses for Drake, you still have to be a good performer. Like, Drake is still a very good performer. You could write the most sophisticated bar in the world, but if they sound whack when delivering it, then it won't matter anyway. So even let's say Drake don't write none of his music, which at that point, again, I probably wouldn't be listening to him, because it would include some of the lyrical songs, but even then, he still performs very well. He has a really good rap voice. He can flow. He still knows how to rap. So I don't care that much. But Drake releases Push Up. And by the way, what was so weird for me was the ordering of these tracks, because to kind of give a spoiler before I break down why I feel the way I do of the order of these tracks, at first I felt it was appropriate to rank Like That. Like, round one, I felt was Like That and Push Ups. Like That versus Kendrick's Like That versus Drake's verse on Push Ups, because that is where the first diss is. That's where the pinpointed first diss is. First Person Shooter was not a diss. Even if you want to consider it a diss, it's a diss from Cole, if anything. But first from Drake, at least from what I call it, Drake didn't subliminally or directly diss Kendrick. In terms of 2024, Kendrick started the beef because he dissed him first on Like That. So I consider it for the longest round one being Like That versus Push Ups, which I clearly feel Drake won. But majority of people feel round one is Push Ups versus Euphoria, which at the time when it first was happening, that really was bugging me, because I'm like, we're doing first diss versus first diss, which is Like That and Push Ups. But people had the alternative opinion of first diss tracks. Like Like That wasn't a diss track. It was just a verse with disses in it, which is a difference. But Push Ups and Euphoria was the first diss tracks to each other. So which I'm like, you know what, I give you, and that's round one. Which, if I'm doing round one as Like That, Push Ups, and then round two, Family Matters, Euphoria, and then round three, Not Like Us, Heart Part 6, round three, Meet the Grams. Round three being Meet the Grams and Not Like Us versus Heart Part 6. Then I would personally say Drake. I would give, I said Like That, Push Ups, so I'd give that to Drake, and then I'd personally say, I'm gonna speak past tense first. So at the time when this was first, like before things got to the point where they are now, I said Push Ups is better than Like That, and Family Matters is better than Euphoria. And then I personally didn't count Meet the Grams because the daughter, to this day, the daughter thing never came out, which I still kind of feel that way about, getting to that. And then Not Like Us is better than Heart Part 6. So I scored it a 2-1 for Drake. And then a more updated version of that opinion is what I'd say if I do the more accurate breakdown of like Push Ups versus Euphoria, Family Matters versus Meet the Grams, Not Like Us versus Heart Part 6, and then in a corner, 616 in LA versus Taylor Made Freestyle. Bro, I'm about to try really hard to stay on an opinion for round one, because I've gone back and forth between which song I feel is better between Push Ups and Euphoria, because I could genuinely rap you either song, and I could, to be honest, I could rap Push Ups way better than the entirety of Euphoria. But if I gotta give a winner for round one, I'm gonna barely, and I mean barely, go Euphoria, because and by the way, spoiler alert, I feel Kendrick won the battle. I feel this way because of what I'm about to explain in these tracks. Kendrick beat Drake in every aspect of the game. Like, Kendrick beat Drake at what Drake does. You see right now, it's cool to hate on Drake. Like, Not Like Us is everywhere. People saying certified pedophile, wop wop, OV ho. Like, everybody, the whole world is saying it. And Drake is literally getting back to back. He's getting Meek Mill. Drake is getting Draked. When back to back dropped, everybody was playing this. Not your world tour, your girls tour. This ain't what I meant when I tell you to open up for. Hey, you getting bodied by a singing nigga. Like, Twitter fingers, third trigger fingers. Hey, you getting bodied by a singing nigga. Like, everybody was memeing it, playing it, and now Drake is getting the same thing back at him. And Kendrick beat him at the internet game. Like, Drake was posting all the internet memes and all the ha-has. Now he is back on him. And the main thing that hurts Drake in this battle for me is a lot aged poorly for Drake and a lot aged good for Kendrick. At the end of the day, between these fan bases, a lot of people had their minds made up before the battle even concluded. Like, before Drake released Push Ups, or when Drake released Push Ups, people were saying Kendrick was scared. He's not going to respond. He can't respond. The battle's over. When Kendrick dropped Euphoria, nobody everybody said Kendrick won. Like, Drake can't do anything. He can't compare. Kendrick's the best. And, well, again, what was both fan bases were annoying me in this battle, because on for the Kendrick fans, what Drake didn't realize, and what this battle really was, a lot of people do not like Drake. So when somebody of Kendrick's caliber battles Drake, it's not just the people who don't like Drake, because Drake has been in battles before. He's battled Pusha T, and Pusha T won that battle badly, and it still didn't ruin his career. He battled Joe Budden. Drake has battled Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, Kanye, etc., etc. But not liking Drake wasn't enough. With the amount of people that love Kendrick and hate Drake, that combined in this battle, and that's what fucked it up for Drake, because a lot of people feel Kendrick can do no wrong, and then a lot of people dislike Drake. So when that combines, it was a recipe for disaster. And in that, for the Kendrick fans, people were saying Drake can't do anything. To this day, people still consider him a pedophile, which, by the way, to address that, especially, I don't know if I'm going to talk about it in a separate episode. I'm going to talk about it in a separate episode. But when you have people that literally admit to inappropriately talking to minors, Dr. Disrespect, EDP, those are people you can call pedophiles. There hasn't been a single thing proven to prove Drake's a pedophile. It's just, what bothers me in this world is the court of public opinion. Like, no matter what is actually factual, the court of public opinion will drag you down, especially with an allegation like being a pedophile and a sexual assaulter. Even if it's literally not true, the allegation alone ruins your life. I was just talking to my dad about, I forget who it was, but there was a young man in the college, in the NCAA college ball player, who a young lady accused him of sexually assaulting her, and it literally, in terms of, he was found not guilty, and his career is probably over because of the allegation. And that happens all the time, especially with black men. If you accuse, especially if they're dating interracially, they accused of like being a woman beater or et cetera, like sexual assault, rapist, woman beater, pedophile. Those three, by the way, that's a trifecta. Even if it's literally not true, if you get accused of those things, it's over. Shout out Lou Ratchet. They got your mans on sexual assault charges. The nigga you be hanging. He's silly. But a lot aged badly for Drake. This nigga literally said, first of all, trying to play as if Kendrick not gangsta was a mistake, especially in LA. Like, as we clearly see, this nigga Kendrick had Bloods, Crips, Pyrus, and whatever all the names is. All them niggas was on stage celebrating with each other and with Kendrick. So that aged poorly. One of the first lines in Family Matters, really banga set my nigga YG. YG was literally on stage with that nigga performing Not Like Us. That made him look foolish. Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. No, you don't. You clearly do not get more love. New Ho King, the restaurant. Kendrick and says in Euphoria, I'll be at New Ho King, get a fried rice with the dip sauce and a bland meat, Cody. Chubby a cheese and fam. First of all, him mocking the Canadian accent, crazy. But a lot aged badly for Drake, whereas on Kendrick's, seemingly everything aged well. Like, in terms of Euphoria, when Euphoria first dropped, I was not that big a fan. I was not that big a fan of Euphoria or Meet the Grams. Now I get to Meet the Grams in a minute, but I was not that big a fan of Euphoria because at the time I felt the disses weren't like really hitting for me. Like, even to this day, even though I do find the song has grown on me a lot, and I may even, spoiler for the end of this episode, may say Euphoria is the best song out of everything, which I still have a hard time picking a song, but I may go with Euphoria. But at the time I felt like, when he said, like, when I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. Like, I believe you don't like women. You might pop ass with them. Or they real competition. You might pop ass with them. Like, I've always felt that was funny, but when I first heard it, it didn't hit for me as a diss, because I'm like, the main reason people don't like Drake is because he take everybody girl. He clearly not gay. Like, I mean, one of the main things you don't have to think about is if Drake is a gay male. He could be bisexual, pansexual, whatever. He likes women. So, like, he take everybody, like, Ja, he's saying push-ups, and shout out to the Hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad, nigga. I ain't even tripping. All that little heartbroken Twitter shit for bitches. This for all the top dogs. Drop and give me 50. Drop. And that fucking song y'all did not start the beef with us. This shit been brewing in a pot and eyes heating up. I don't care what Cole think, that dot shit was weak as fuck. Like, again, I'm gonna keep saying throughout this whole video, these niggas were rapping in this beef. But Drake was saying that, and again, it just didn't age well. And with Euphoria, him saying, like, with Kendrick saying that line, I'm like, calling up or trying to play as though a clearly straight man is gay, that it's not really a hit for me. It's still, if I think about it that deeply, it's still not gonna hit for me, but it's just funny. It was hilarious. It's hilarious, this. And then I felt the whole, like, the thing of Kendrick playing on Drake's race, like poking out how Drake's not for the culture, Drake's this and that. My opinion has shifted from that as well, where at the time I strongly didn't like it, because I'm like, I don't know Drake to say he's using the culture. Like, I don't know his mind. I don't be around a nigga. I don't know to say that he's using the culture for his own personal gain. And I truly hate the narrative. I can't remember if I've done a podcast episode, like if I posted the episode about this or recorded it or not, but I strongly hate when people consider light-skinned people not black. Like, it really bothers me. It's really, I think I have posted the episode about this, but it's colorism, racist. It's the whole, I don't feel like getting into that. So that also bothered me. It bothers me every time people do it, no matter who it is. If you're black, if you have a black parent, you are black. It's very simple, or I feel it's very simple. Some people feel it is, and those people mind boggle me. But like black, as I stated in the episode, black comes in many shades and colors, and to denounce or try to take away somebody's blackness just because they don't look like you, there's a lot of words for that we whatever. But so I was the biggest fan of that either, but my opinion has shifted on that, because the main thing Kendrick was harping on was the fact that I'm not saying light-skinned people aren't black. I'm saying that nigga is not black. And I even hate when you say the word nigga. That's just me, I guess. Some shit just cringeworthy. It ain't gotta be deep, I guess. And then like lines like, what is it, the brights? I heard your feelings, you don't worry with me no more. Okay. It's 3 ghosts left, and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love them to death. And in 8 bars, I'll explain that phrase. It's what nobody can tell me. I don't want to talk on no celly. You know I got language barriers. There's no accent you can sell me. Yeah, Cole and Aubrey know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they ain't my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. I don't like you popping shit that for real. For him, I inherit the beef. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. You better off spitting again on him if you think about pushing me. He's Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I'm whooping feet. We don't gotta get personal. This a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. I know some shit about niggas that make gunna wanna look like a saint. Now, let me say, I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. We hate the bitches you fuck. They confuse themselves with real women. And notice I said we, not just me. I'm what the culture feeling. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you probably feeling that you black enough? I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. You gonna make a nigga bring back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really crash something. In my first one, like my last one, let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from. V12 is a fast one. Pow, pow, pow. That's what. Headshots for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk. Remember? A Top Dog. Who the fuck they think they playing with? Extortion's my middle name soon as I jump out of that plane, bitch. I'm allergic to the lame shit. Only you like being famous. Yachty can't give you no swag either. I don't give a fuck about your angry. To show y'all that I truly, like, I'm a fan of both of these niggas. I'm trying not to be biased. And I say that to talk about some of the lines in this song. First of all, the reason why I wrapped that whole part to get to the last line, nigga, like, Yachty can't give you no swag either. I don't give a fuck about your angry. That's one of my favorite lines. But the YNW, even with me not being the biggest fan of Euphoria when it first dropped, that YNW Melly bar, bro, I think I got out of I was laying in bed, I think I jumped out the bed with that one. And then the Pusha T, he's silly pushing T. He's better off spitting on him if you think about pushing me. He's Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm gonna whoop in the feet. And then he had the mention was running his family, but let it get shaky. I park his son. The very first time I shot at Drake, which, just if I take just alone the park his son bar, that bar is ass. Like, I park his son, it's not a good bar. But the entire scheme makes it a good bar of dementia's running his family, let it get shaky, Parkinson's disease, your hands get shaky, dementia, forgetting everything. Like, the scheme itself is fire. But yeah, just lines like the lines were hitting me. They were mediocre for me at the time. But again, as I just rapped you that entire verse, a lot of that song aged well. Again, even in Not Just Like That, or especially with Not Like Us. And we gonna get to that in a minute. But then we get round 2, Family Matters Meet the Grams. bro, especially with being a Drake fan or being more of a Drake fan at the time and cheering for Drake in this battle. Family Matters, again, best 20 minutes of my life. I'm talking to somebody breaking it down like this nigga doing it. Like, bro, people try to act like Drake's records in this battle were whack or not that good. That nigga Drake was talking. In fact, Drake was cooking. He cooked everybody on Family Matters. And by the way, even though Drake lost the battle against Kendrick, he cooked all the other niggas like Rick Ross, ASAP, Weeknd. That nigga Drake record right now is probably, let's see, Kanye, in terms of his wins, he's, in my opinion, he's beaten Kanye, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, Weeknd. That's 5. And he's lost to Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar. And then I haven't heard the Joe Budden disses. I don't think he responded to the Joe Budden disses, but I haven't heard the Joe Budden disses. So in terms of what I heard, Drake is 5-2 in battles. Like, Drake is a very good battler. It's just the main 2 he lost were bad losses. But when Meet the Grams dropped, my opinion on Meet the Grams, when it first dropped, I agree with the majority of people who said it wasn't that good, the beat was slow, et cetera, right? And again, like I said, if the daughter, at the time I said if he don't come out with a daughter, that track don't count. I don't feel that way no more, only because, which again, I do still take points away from Meet the Grams because of the daughter thing. And people try to act like that was a wild thing to say, like if you don't have a daughter, that don't it takes validity of the track. Bro, even with the whole pedophile stuff, like Drake, in terms of the breadcrumbs that lead to an allegation like that, people known this for years. Like in terms of the weirdest thing, in my opinion, that I've heard about Drake with the whole minor stuff is the 17-year-old bringing her on stage, kissing her, saying she had a nice body, which even though apparently, I think it was in Denver, Colorado, apparently the age of consent there at 17, so he technically didn't do anything legally wrong, but it's still very morality-wise very weird to say that about a 17-year-old, and he knew her age, so that was just very weird, even if he was only in his like young 20s. But people have known that for years. I hate when people are fake mad about stuff because they waited till this to be like, oh, Drake, but like, y'all, we knew this. Y'all knew this. Y'all excused it. What's different now? But even with that, people understand the impact of saying Drake has a kid, he's hiding a kid. That's why when Pusha T did it, that alone lost him the battle. Even though people try to say that diss track, first of all, people try to lie and say Drake won that battle. He didn't. I do feel he won round 1 in terms of like ultra infrared versus dopey freestyle, but he didn't respond in round 2, which I wish Prince didn't say that. Cause you can't let it. Dang. Apparently Drake went too far, which again, Pusha, the nigga had you on blackface and revealed your child. You don't think he went far? But Pusha T, he's surgical summer. He killed Drake on that one. But the impact of saying Drake has a kid that he's been hiding and then it being true, everybody understand the impact of like Kendrick saying a baby girl, like saying you got a daughter that she's 10. We understand, which again, this is gonna be a future episode. People literally feel being gay is worse than being a pedophile and racist. It fucking blows my mind, and the lengths people go to be homophobic is crazy. But I say that to say, people say fuck the pedophile shit. Nigga, you got a daughter? Even Drake, he didn't even acknowledge the pedophile shit at first. He like, I don't got no daughter, gang. What the fuck are you talking about? So people understand that. So for people to act like Kendrick bringing that up was, and it not being true, not weird. People on both sides of this beef were weird, and specifically with both of these niggas lying. Both of these niggas or lie. Both of them said things that didn't have backed up evidence in this battle, 3 entirety of battle. Some of it was proven though, and we go get to that. But in terms of Meet the Ground, because I'm gonna barely give Euphoria round 1. In terms of round 2 between Family Matters and Meet the Grams, I'm gonna give it to Meet the Grams because what I think of a diss track, and kind of spoiler / hot take, I feel Meet the Grams is the best diss track of the 3 between the 4 between Euphoria, 616, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us. I feel Meet the Grams is the best diss track because it has that ominous. It make you feel like you feel sad, you feel uncomfortable when you get done listening to Meet the Grams. Like the instrumental, what he's saying, again, the nigga's literally talking to his son, mother, father, and imaginary until proven otherwise daughter about how he should be a better man. He's a sick man, he should die, I hate him. Like that is crazy. And again, I definitely understand the arguments of saying like Not Like Us is the best diss track. Not Like Us is clearly the most impactful, and then Euphoria may be my favorite, but Meet the Grams is just very, very disrespectful. And it was a flip on. I mean, Drake called it Family Matters, Meet the Grams. Like, the whole family thing, Kendrick flipped. And then the cover art, I mean, everything. Meet the Grams, you got to get that round of Drake. And unfortunately, with me giving these 2 rounds of Drake, I mean, clearly not like us, the better of round 3. So Drake got swept in this battle. Like, I don't think Drake won a round. I can't give Drake a round as much as I would want to. And real quick before I go into round 3, I forgot to mention when Kendrick and Euphoria said, "I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk." When he first said that, I thought that was whiny as hell. I'm like, this nigga really whining on the track. And I found it funny when Drake posted the Instagram clip of that movie, like, "I hate the way that you," like, all that was hilarious. And now I feel like I like the part and it's fire. And again, what I like to also stress to people, bro, your opinions can change. Like, it's fine to have an opinion and then something you change. It's how life works, how humans work. You can change your opinion. It's fine. With that being said, so to go to round 3, again, like I said, clearly round 3 is not like us, but I feel the Heart Part 6 is way too overhated. Like, people wanted to hate that song so bad, and they did, and it does. Even none of the Drake disses aged the best, but I feel Drake was rapping really, really good on that Heart Part 6. And then the A minor flip, people, as somebody who's a varsity choir person and who's around, like, who know a lot of their stuff, people was trying to hate on that A minor flip so bad. Like, there's not a thing as B sharp. It's just but like, even if you want to technically say it doesn't technically count or it doesn't technically exist because it's just another key, that doesn't mean it don't exist. It's just people don't acknowledge it as certain thing because of, like, it was a good flip. People irritate me. And then one of the most controversial line in that song was when Drake had the mother. That's the song where you got, like, first of all, again, I come from the belief, especially being an Eminem fan, there's no rules in battle rap, especially if a nigga's calling you a certified pedophile or calling you a pedophile in 10 different ways. Drake talking about Kendrick Drake trying to paint the picture of talking about Kendrick getting molested. Again, he's calling you a pedophile in 10 different ways. All gloves off. And it's a very low blow, but again, I come from, the greatest diss track of all time is Hit 'Em Up. Like, I grew up from a sort of strict household, didn't really listen to a lot of music a lot, but my parents made sure I knew who Tupac and Eminem were. And those, the two, out of everything they didn't want me listening to, they made sure I knew the 2 most disrespectful niggas in hip hop, or some of the 2 most disrespectful niggas in hip hop, because you got people like Ice Cube, 50 Cent. But, so I come from a no rules and battle rap type of mindset, and people didn't like that part of the Heart Part 6, A, because of what he was trying to talk about, but B, people felt Drake misinterpreted what Kendrick was talking about in Mother I Sober. And for reference, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, good album, by the way. Another thing that I wasn't the big fan of at first until I gave it some time. 2 albums that stick out to me that I didn't really like when I first listened to, and I really, really wanted to like them, was a Whole Lot of Red and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. When Whole Lot of Red dropped, I felt it was a bad album. It was like a 20-something song album, and I only liked 7 songs out of it. I felt just ratio was a bad album. And then with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I felt that it was a 7, and I felt it would have been a lot of rappers' best project, but I felt it was underwhelming for Kendrick. Both opinions drastically changed. I think I gave each project, I let each project sit for a year. And I listened to a Whole Lot of Red, and I didn't skip a single song. And in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I actually got to finish re-listening to it. But I listened to the first half, Mr. Morale, and I didn't skip a song. And I probably won't skip a song with the Big Steppers, the latter half. But in Mother I Sober, it was a song about how Kendrick was saying that he did not get molested, but his mother didn't believe him. And the reason why I still feel Drake's diss on the Heart Part 6, him bringing that up was still a good diss, was because I don't know. Again, I don't know him if he misinterpreted the song, but I don't think it was I don't think it was meant to be a misinterpretation. I felt it was meant to be that Drake was playing on the fact that Kendrick isn't a believable person. Like, your own mom didn't believe you when you talked about this. How is people supposed to believe what you saying on your other songs? That's how I took it as, and I felt it was a great rebuttal. And people are so ODing on how Drake chose to defend him being a pedophile. Again, when you're alleged that, no matter if it's true or not, the allegation alone, people are going to look at you crazy. So Drake could have literally just said, no, I am not a pedophile, and people would have been like, that's not enough. And people really criticized the line, like, how he worded it. He said, if I was fucking young girls, I promise I would have been arrested. People were taking that as, like, famous people are child molesters all the time, like Bill Cosby, like Dr. Disrespect, like it happened. Famous people are weirdos all the time. I didn't take it as Drake saying he's too famous to get in trouble for something like that. I felt as though Drake was saying with the access he has as him being Drake, why would he go for young girls? And especially with him being who he is, if he was choosing to, with all the access Drake got, again, the common denominator of why people don't like Drake is that he took that girl. Even with like Drake and Ja Morant, like apparently Ja was talking to Lotto's sister and Drake had sex with her and now they beefing. Which again, even though I don't consider the nigga a pedophile, I feel it's very weird to keep calling him that. Him being almost 40, fucking with somebody damn near my age. I think she like 22, I'm 21. It's a bit strange, but none of my business. But and then they're both consenting adults. I find it very interesting that Kendrick felt as though the bitches you fuck are not real women. I wonder how people who have had sex with Drake feel about that. But so I didn't take, like I said, I didn't take that as him saying he's too famous to have consequences. I felt as he was throughout his whole like I'm not a pedophile stint of that song, him saying like, A, I'm not a pedophile, I don't like kids, and B, with all the women I have access to me, Drake, Beyonce and Rihanna are probably the only two women Drake can't get in the world. Especially if I'm including single women, there's probably not a single woman. If they don't already have a disdain for Drake, Drake can probably get anybody he wants to. He's Drake. So that's why I feel him saying like, nigga, I'm Drake. Why would I go talk to a little girl? And then again, the 17-year-old thing, can't defend that at all. But everything else in terms of Millie Bobby Brown, Billie Eilish, et cetera, all of them have came out and said Drake did nothing to them. Like there was nothing sexual. So again, for something to literally be not true and people still run with a narrative is insane. Now, I do understand the counterpoint of it being weird. Drake still is always intertwined with these young ladies. But again, while I still don't view him as a pedophile or weird, and while I will still defend him in that aspect between them, is because Drake grew up as a child actor. So in terms of Millie Bobby Brown, he probably was giving advice in terms of how to handle the industry as a child actor. And then with people like Billie Eilish, with people younger than him, I can imagine Drake being someone trying to be a mentor to male and female in terms of like understanding the industry, being somebody who always gets attacked. Drake is like a Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, and like they had fame, super success, super young, and they're still big people. And the difference between like a Chris Brown and Justin Bieber and a Drake is still, at least I'm very interested to see what happens when he drops his next project. But before this battle, even with all the controversy, even with him literally doing blackface, he still was at a high caliber, even with all his allegations, whereas Chris Brown and Justin Bieber, even though they're still pretty big, they're not as big as they could be because of the damning allegations they have, especially Chris Brown. But Drake was still that big entity. So I feel like with him being that, then he still was able to like pop his shit even with his controversy. But now it's kind of a different story. So to talk about Not Like Us, like even with me cheering for Drake in the battle, even with me being more of a Drake fan, when Not Like Us dropped, there's absolutely nothing you can hate about Not Like Us. And I feel the most underrated part of that song is the third verse. Like I know people, again, we all know the biggest line, certified pedophile. Wop. I must have run the beat, ho, Debo. Any red nigga, he a free throw, man down, call an ambulance, tell a free throw, nail a nigga to the cross. He walking around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see confident? The industry can hate me. Fuck them all in their mama. Very ironic line, seeing as how the industry loves them. But I'm finna pass on his body. I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. First of all, beat it in the whole song. But sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogie, man. I'm the one that up to score with him. Walk around the whole time. You know he got some hoe in him. Bow in him. Extort shit. Bully that on him. Say Drake, I hear you like him young. You better not ever go to cell block 1 to any bitch that talk to him and they in love. Just make sure you hide your little sister from. They told me Chubb's the only one nigga your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wop, dot, fuck him up. Wop. I'ma do my stuff. While you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor. Hey, they not like us. All that, right? The third verse where he's breaking down, homie still double down calling us some slaves. Atlanta is the Mecca. Let me break it down to you. This the real nigga child. Like, you call Future when you didn't see the club. Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like you was slime in your head. Quavo said you could be from Northside. 2 Chainz said you real, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You are not a colleague. You a fucking colonizer. The family matters and the truth of the matter. It was God's plan to show y'all the liar. He a fan, he a fan, he a fan. He a fan, he a fan, he a freaky ass nigga. He bro, dog. Like that third verse is my favorite verse of the Not Like Us, because it's more distant. Like, okay, Kendrick, he more so doing the playful shit, like certified wop wop. He doing all the playful shit, but that third verse of breaking down how Drake has used Atlanta and how he's calling us the slave and the colonizer, that part was like, you see to this day Drake hasn't, like in Heart Part 6, Drake hasn't rebutted that. And he didn't rebuttal that, and he couldn't, because even if he didn't intend to colonize, that's what it looked like. And it's crazy how Drake got did in this battle. And I feel the biggest mistake Drake made, first of all, real quick, I'm going to keep this very short. 616 in LA is way better than Taylor Made Freestyle. And you could argue 616 is the best rapping Kendrick did in this entire beef. I would agree from a technicality standpoint, like in terms of the first of all, the beat, and that beat being a sample of like the band that Drake's grandfather was in, like that was crazy. But the Off-White Sunseeker at the Marika had to be like the internal rhymes, the flow, how he's rapping on the beat. With it seemed like he's rapping very urgently on that beat. I would say it's the best from that standpoint. But in terms of content, I would say maybe Not Like This is slept on in terms of his rapping ability. Like what's that one part? Get rushed out for the doctrine, fuck the action, quit passion, ain't fucking around, get hands on, get polished. Fuck the Wayne girl when he was in jail, that's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. I'm glad the Rose came around. You didn't deserve him either. From Landra down to Central, nigga better not speak on Sabrina. And the whole book was a Peter that predator moving flocks. Your name gotta be registered and titled neighborhood watch. I lean on you niggas like I lean on you niggas like another line on walk. Yeah, it's all eyes on me, and I'ma send it up the pot. Put the whole label on me, I'ma get them dropped. Sweet chin music, and I won't pass the ox. How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Devil is a lie. He a 69. Like, the rapping, like, the nigga was going in on Not Like Us. So I may have to, but then Euphoria, I'm out doing, but no, okay, but okay, I ain't thinking about no Reaper. Nigga, I'm Reaper, but these so okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house. Like I'm Joe, okay? Hell, okay. Better like they sell it sold away. Everybody want to be demons till they get chipped by a throwaway. And I might do a show a day. Once a lame, like, all that was one rhyme scheme until he gets once a lane. Wait, always a lane. Oh, you think the money, the power of fame will make you go away? Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, nigga, let's play. Like, he's still continuing the rhymes. I'm gonna have to give it to Euphoria. But I feel Drake's biggest mistake, first of all, was the Taylor Made Freestyle. Because that's what aged the worst automatically, because it had to get taken down. And it was too, Drake left himself too wide open with Taylor Made, because immediately the whole track is denounced when Kendrick says, I'd rather do that, or you got Tupac's rings, I'll double the wage, I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make pop turn in his grave. Like, that alone, that one line is better than the entire Taylor Made Freestyle, because you're literally using Tupac to mock Kendrick, and you're mocking a West Coast legend. And again, the song had to get taken down, so it just didn't age the best. And even let's say you give him that, because Taylor Made and 616 were made to be one-offs, right? Or like throwaways. I feel Drake should have took his time with his last response. I feel when Not Like Us dropped it, he saw it, and I get why he got on top of it because of the traction it was getting. But first of all, he lied. If anything, I think his lies, some of the things Drakes were saying were proven to be lies more than Kendrick, because he said he tried to do the whole we fed you the information, which when it first dropped, I gave Drake the battle. Like when Heart Part 6 first dropped, I felt it was better than, I felt Diss-wise, not song-wise at all. Diss-wise was the better diss track. And I had push-ups over, like I had Drake winning it. And I felt like if the daughter thing isn't true and Drake did feed him false information, and then people were speculating like on Family Matters, there were like Easter eggs of the girl he sent to Kendrick. I felt if all that was true, Drake clearly won. Drake clearly was lying, according to academics at least. Academics felt he reported that was a lie, and Ak is a pretty close source to Drake. So I'm gonna believe it until Drake denounces it. So he lied there, and then in Family Matters, one of his biggest rebuttals was a cease and desist for hoes. Can't listen to the lies that come out of your mouth. You called it Tupac a state and bet him and told him to get that shit down. I'm losing perspective on beef. But when right then, my daddy arrived by top. You stunning and Wayne like father and son. Crazy bar. Anthony set up the plays. Like, that whole little part was crazy. But Metro Boomin confirmed that, no, them niggas did send a cease and desist for the Like That record. So, again, that also tell you, I'm surprised a lot of people are not bringing that up out of all the things they could bring up in terms of all the bullshit these two niggas said, in terms of what isn't confirmed. Because, I mean, Kendrick, which I feel nobody's really talking about and people just ignored, Kendrick never denied the fact that he's a woman beater. Or hasn't married his girl. Or cheated. Or he has actually confirmed that he's cheated. That was a big part of Mr. Morale. But he never denounced that. Now, again, I understand why, because at the end of the day, these niggas' relationships is not none of our business. So I'm of the belief, for the most part, that we don't have to know about people's relationship lives. Ladies, but let them, don't stop worshiping these artists like they're just regular people, regular relationships. We don't need to know. We don't need to know if Kendrick, if Whitney's still with Kendrick, she see enough in him to be that's a great man that she needs to be with him. That's all that matters. Whether it's they free the kid, the baby daddy, or all that, it's none of our business anyway. So, that, and then I feel if Drake would have let everything happen, like I feel the only way, which this kind of sucks for Drake, but I feel the only way Drake would have won this battle is if he waited a long time before his last response. First of all, I don't think he should have. I get why, and I actually at the time liked that he did Heart Part 6 because Kendrick stole the timestamp of like 616 LA. But I feel he should have did a music video. And B, I felt he should have just named it a timestamp track. Why? It would have been very easy. One of the biggest missed opportunities. Two of the biggest missed opportunities. A, Drake could have went to LA and just had a 728 in LA or whatever you call it. And B, Drake's whole thing was that Kendrick is a woman beater. And the last line, one of the last lines of Family Matters is they hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen. The picture you painted ain't when it seems you're dead. Crazy line, by the way. So, and then Kendrick's in Meet the Grams his whole thing was you a bad father. Adonis, be proud of your black skin. And that was what indicated me. That was one of the things that flipped my opinion in terms of feeling that Kendrick was saying Drake isn't black because he light skinned. He called Adonis black. Adonis is less black than Drake. Adonis even though I feel, again, Drake is black. Adonis, that's his daddy. I feel Adonis is a black man. With that being said, Drake is a mixed black person, and then his mother is nowhere near black. So to consider Adonis a black man but not Drake is hilarious. And kind of, it's like, I think of Dragon Ball Z, or like, from my people who would understand this. So you know how Gohan is 50% Saiyan, 50% human, because his dad is 100% human, 100% Saiyan. Chi-Chi, his mother, is 100% human. Break it down, 50-50, half human, half Saiyan. You make Gohan, right? Gohan marries a full human, 100% human, and then they had Pan. So if I'm doing the math correctly, with Pan's dad being 50% Saiyan, 50% human, and then her mother being 100% human, that makes her 25% Saiyan, if I'm doing the math right. Even if I'm not doing the math right, there's not enough Saiyan blood in her, so she literally cannot go Super Saiyan in GT. I don't know if they're going to change that in Super. It statistically and mathematically and logically wouldn't make sense for her to go Super Saiyan unless they make it that if you got any Saiyan blood in your body, you could be a Super Saiyan. But in GT, because GT isn't canon, but in GT, she literally couldn't go Super Saiyan because there wasn't enough Saiyan in her. She was more human. She was like 75% human, 25% Saiyan. So that's what it gave in terms of him considering Adonis a black man. But I feel he should have made a music video and waited. Like, he should have waited till all of this Not Like Us drops. Like, all the hype dies down, which I don't think it's gonna die down for a very long time, but I think that would have helped Drake, because I think people are starting to underappreciate or just not appreciate Drake anymore. So I feel Drake should have let Not Like Us drop. He should have let a music video drop, the concert, all of this should have happened, and then Drake. Like, maybe Drake goes on Drake pulls some Nas shit. Like, apparently it took Nas 6 months to write Ether. So Drake, go on hiatus for a year, do your vacation, go on a music hiatus. I even feel low-key, especially at this point, I feel you should go on like a hiatus, like no socials, no nothing, but you can't control the nigga, and it's kind of his job to be aware on social media. So I feel what he should have did was let all this die down and then release a song. And I feel his biggest missed opportunity with Kendrick talking to his son, Drake. Kendrick, if I'm not mistaken, Kendrick has a daughter. So if Drake would have played the angle of talking to his daughter, like, never let a man beat on you, never let her, like, I feel that would have been crazy. And he still got time to do it because I don't think Drake will let this go. Because I feel like Drake, just on some competitive shit and him being Drake, like usually like the whole hit record diss thing, that's his thing with back to back. So to get out Drake, I feel Drake's gonna bring this back up. And plus Drake's a very petty nigga. I hope these niggas don't go back to subliminally dissing each other for the next 20 years after this. And I feel if Drake gonna respond, which at this point, either Drake should respond how he apparently did when he responded to Pusha, or he should just leave it alone. Because even when he dropped Heart Part 6, niggas didn't care anyway. So if he never respond, if he let Kendrick get the dub, then Kendrick, he just lost another battle. And Drake, I think Drake's gonna be fine, to be honest. But I am very interested to see, like, in terms of the people that don't like Drake all of a sudden, like, do y'all really not like him, or are y'all fake mad? Like, I wonder whenever Drake drops his next album, does it still do Drake numbers? I feel Drake's gonna be fine, but it's again, Kendrick is one of the only people that could have tore Drake down. Like his whole mystique, whole I'm Drake shit. Kendrick was one of the only people that could have torn that down. And Kendrick was probably the worst person. By the way, another unfortunate mistake for Drake, Kendrick was the worst person for Drake to battle. Like, even if he battled Eminem, Kendrick is so heavily compared to Drake that him losing a battle to Kendrick, personally, matter of fact, before I even say what I was about, or I was going to say, I'm not even comfortable putting Drake or J. Cole over Kendrick no more. And I'm going to get to, I almost forgot about that. I'm an hour and 14 in, almost ended without talking about this. I'm going to take a deep breath because I'm going to get mad again. Like I said earlier in this episode, I felt J. Cole was the best of the three, best rapper of the three. If I were to pretend it didn't happen and then not acknowledge what Kendrick did in this battle, I would still say Cole is my favorite of the three and the best of the three. Even again, if I were to ignore what I'm about to talk about in the battle, I feel J. Cole is the better rapper than Kendrick. So, little filler part of this battle. Again, like I mentioned, people wanted J. Cole and Kendrick to battle. Kendrick drops not like that. And then J. Cole surprise drops Might Delete Later. From what I've heard, one of the best albums. Actually, again, for what I'm about to talk about, I've purposely not listened to the album because they just don't hit the same. But he dropped, from what I've heard, one of the best projects of the year. I did listen to Pie, the song with Daylight, and I forget who else is on it. But J. Cole, one of the best verses, even with what I'm about to talk about, one of the best verses of the year. Like J. Cole left Earth on Pie, and it's one of the examples of like, nigga, you can rap. You're better than this. I'm getting mad. Trying to keep my composure. So he drops Might Delete Later, and people thinking he dissing throughout the whole album, and it would have made sense based on what he was saying. But specifically, the Kendrick response was 7-minute drill. Very mixed reviews on this track, very mixed received. Some people felt it was very average, and Cole didn't sound genuine, like he didn't sound his heart into it, and them niggas were proven right. But I and other people felt that it was the perfect response for Kendrick, because in terms of what Kendrick said to J. Cole, all he said mainly was, fuck the big three, is just big me. Like, you mean tell me that alone is better than what J. Cole said, even if you do feel it was average? I feel it was a very beatable diss. I feel it was just enough for what he had to say, for what Kendrick said for a response. I feel it was a perfect response. It wasn't out of this world. It wasn't any of the tracks Drake and Kendrick released, but it was just enough to be like, hey nigga, if you really want to do this, like if we battling, like even he said in the song, like this is a warning, this song is a warning track to bag niggas down, bag it around. Like this is supposed to be some warning shots. Like nigga, okay, nigga, just cause you big Kendrick Lamar, I'm J. Cole, nigga. I'm JP, nigga. So he did what's so coincidentally, before that song dropped, I had just listened to Takeover, the Jay-Z diss, because I had never heard Takeover. I hadn't even heard or remembered either. So I did like a whole personal breakdown of like Jay-Z versus Nas. Nas won that battle from what I heard. Because I still gotta listen to Super Ugly. I've never heard it. But in terms of Takeover, Ether, nigga, the Jay-Z. That's why the term getting ethered in rap is a term. So, or is it saying? But I had just listened to Takeover. And in Takeover, Jay-Z says, dang, I forgot how he worded it, but he was saying like that's a one hit song every some. He was pretty much playing the angle of Nas only releases like one good song a year or something like that. So then J. Cole being a big Jay-Z fan, and I think Jay-Z found J. Cole 4 albums in 3 years, nigga. I could divide. Shit, if this is what you want, I'm indulgent and violent. This is really a warning. This is merely a warning shot to bad niggas down, back of the right. Felt like if I respond back, it'd be like swatting a fly. Like Cole was cooking that nigga. And then 2 days later, he literally apologized for the track. And I had this in my notes to talk about. So all the people who were saying, even to this day, like, oh, J. Cole dodged the bullet. He made the right decision to apologize and stop it. Stop it. Because now in hindsight, he did make a very good decision not to participate in this battle because this shit got ugly. But the reason why I say stop it, even people even try to go as far as be like, this is a great example for black men. We can't fight each other. We gotta remember to put our pride. Shut up. Stop it. J. Cole was the one who brought this energy to him. Again, first person shooter. We the big three like we started the league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Everybody steppers will fuck it down. I'm about to clear up my plate. Like, J. Cole, this is the same nigga who said, I'll probably go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature. All that, you should be talking this spicy as a rapper, by the way. Every rapper should feel they the best. If I rapped, I'd be better than a lot. I genuinely feel if I rapped, I'd be better than a lot of niggas. You're supposed to feel that way as a rapper, especially as a writer. I haven't met a writer better than me. And maybe the only one I consider a better writer than me is my dad. So the only person I consider a better writer than me is another person named Anthony. So I feel I'm the best podcaster on right now. You need to be feeling this way because let me make it very, very simple. Everybody can rap. Everybody can put out music. Everybody can put out podcast. Why am I listening to you? Like J. Cole, okay, we got Kendrick, Drake, we got all these lyrical rappers. Why am I listening to J. Cole? I was explaining it to, shout out my friend Shawnee Holbrook. Make sure you follow her on all her social media platforms. I think her Instagram Life of Shawnee, and I don't remember her Snap name, but she is a hairstylist. She's an East Lansing or just Lansing hair artist, and she does a lot for the city of Lansing. Like, she very plugged in. Like, she's like, she on a type of path to get like a statue in Lansing. Like, she do a lot, especially for the schools, the young people, et cetera, et cetera. But I was telling her, like, in terms of you doing hair, and she's even starting a podcast, shout out her future podcast or her future endeavors. I was having a conversation with her, like, you have to have this bravado of yourself of, I'm the best hairstylist in the world. I'm gonna be the best. When she make her podcast, she should be like, fuck the What's on Your Mind podcast. I'm the best. I'm about to be the best thing out. Because why would people come to you? Again, everybody, I can find a lot of people who do hair. I can find a lot of people who about to make a podcast. Why am I coming to you? Because it's you. So I say to my audience, if you were to ever ask, would I listen to the What's on Your Mind podcast? There's no YouTube video. There's no YouTube videos, TikTok. I can listen to other audio videos because I'm me. Because nobody's a better interviewer than me. Nobody's going to break down things like me. And nobody's going to talk about things like me. Nobody is me. So just like I was telling Shawnee, the reason why people come to you is because you're you. You're Shawnee Holbrook. You built everything from the ground up, very independent entrepreneur. That's why you coming to me, because there's no matter who else you go to, there's not another Shawnee Holbrook. So in terms of me, no matter what other podcast you listen to, there's not another podcast like the What's on Your Mind podcast, period, point blank. So J. Cole should feel he the best rapper in the world. But then when you go and take it back, I feel this is the best breakdown of it. Of why I can't respect that as a rapper. And as a person, I saw a tweet and I reposted it. As a person with bills, as an adult, I understand J. Cole, especially with how this battle turned out. As a fan of rap and as a writer and as someone viewing this as rap, it was very pussy. Like, that was some of the and then the apology alone is, in my opinion, is very weak. This nigga proceeded to say, hey dog, look, I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I got my chin out. Nigga, take your best shot. Nigga, I take it on the chin. First of all, A, fucking yo, pause. But B, I'm put it like this. Kendrick sent the first shot in 2024, right? So I took it as, imagine somebody punches you in the face, right? You punch them back. And then not only do you apologize for punching them back, you stick your face out and say, punch me. What the? So yeah. And then proceeded. Not only that, this nigga proceeds to be a feature on a song called Grippy, which ironically enough, I saw a post that said, nigga, y'all talking about this song so much, it's starting to grow on me. I'm famous for liking bad songs. Like, I feel one of my most unpopular hip hop opinions, I feel Revival is a good album. So much so I feel songs are like Offended. I like the Offended chorus. Nobody hates me, everybody hate me, and want me to eat you. I hope you offended. When that first dropped, everybody loved the verses and hated the chorus. I like the chorus. I like Soul Train as a song. One of the worst songs ever made, by the way. I'm never acknowledging. Oh, my bad. Oh, shout out Angel Reese and Asia Wilson. I gotta get back because I want to watch that game and I gotta work out. So yeah, I want to watch that game. Shout out both of them, by the way, bro. Especially Asia Wilson. She is nice, bro. Like, she putting up like Westbrook number, and then Angel Reese. Shout out Angel Reese. Shout out to WNBA. That's what that alarm was for. I was reminding myself to watch this game. It's coming on right now, but. Grippy, again, the memes. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, I like Soul Train, so like, I can give you all my love. And again, terrible song. I still like it. So, and Grippy, again, hell, the only reason I'm not gonna want to enjoy Grippy is because I'm pissed off at J. Cole, and it's a horrible move to do after apology. At least when Drake did Wagwan Delilah, and people, I can't stand people. People were taking that song as like, people were saying like, oh, Kendrick, he didn't took Drake's rapping ability. He not good. I'm like, bro, it was a joke. Relax, laugh, have a sense of humor. And then even the You My Everything feature, I like that. Again, that's another song. People were clowning Sexy Red for Babe, I love you, you're my everyday. I can't even purposely sing how off key she was, but I still like it. It's not meant to be this lyrical, this supernatural song. And even Drake's verse on that song is really good. This nigga, he did one of the smartest things. Oh, matter of fact, let me address that real quick. Matter of fact, let me because if you know me personally, I'm like 90% sure I have ADHD or I'm on the spectrum or something. So that's why my brain jumps everywhere. I'm sorry. So let me finish one point at a time. In terms of J. Cole, apologizes, does Grippy. Very embarrassing for J. Cole. And then he, after that, he redeemed himself. He had a song with Tim's. I love that song. Beautiful song. I love Tim's, the artist, and as a person, she's a beautiful woman. Shout out Tim's and J. Cole. Free Fall is the name of that song. And go listen to Tim's most recent album as well. And when J. Cole drops the Fall Off, first of all, nigga, to put this point on J. Cole before I talk about Drake and Metro Boomin, J. Cole has been promoting the Fall Off since I think what's that album that got the song Count It. I cannot remember. I'm saying that like I don't got my phone right in front of me to literally just look up the album. It got Kevin's Heart on it. Apparently it's a pretty good album. I've never listened to the album in full, but what's the name of this album? KOD. I think he's been promoting the Fall Off since that album. I mean, again, the Michael B. Jordan, the song he did for Creed 3, just copped the Fall Off, and he'll explain. Like, he didn't even say the Fall Off is like Jay-Z dropping Reasonable Doubt last. People feel Reasonable Doubt is one of Jay-Z's best albums. Nigga. First of all, the Fall Off better be the project of the 2020s. Like, it better legit for how much you've been talking about it and for the shit you done pulled in this Kendrick battle. And then somebody, literally a fan, saw this nigga writing, literally with pen and paper, writing a verse. First of all, the fact that he still writes, literally, is crazy. But that album better be fucking album of the 2020s. I ain't gonna lie to you. And in terms of what I said earlier about not listening, might delete later in full, every bar about you being the best rapper or nobody better come for me, it's never gonna hit the same, like, ever. Not to say I'm never gonna like it, not to say I'm never gonna enjoy it, but every time, like, even I was listening to an older song, even First Person Shooter don't hit the same no more. Nigga, we the big three, like, we start, fuck out of here. You're not that guy, and it's fine. Again, J. Cole seems like a phenomenal person. If you're not that guy to, like, puff your chest out and be the big dog type shit, don't do it. Don't be fake. And that's another thing that annoyed me in J. Cole. And I get it. People were saying like, oh, my niggas was saying like, you gotta respond. And he got peer pressure. Nigga, you're almost a 40-year-old man. What do you mean you got peer pressure? Nigga, you're almost 40. How do you get peer pressure? Whoa. It annoys me so bad. And I get it. Again, I'm not in his position. If it was, again, I feel you should have responded. I would have did the same thing, except apologize. Even if everybody thought that shit was trash, like Heart Part 6, Drake bet not ever apologize for the Heart Part 6 or none of the diss tracks. And that was another thing people was trying to say. People was trying to clown Drake because he deleted all his songs off his social media platforms except like streaming, which I do feel is weird. Like, why did you do that? But at the same time, again, it's on YouTube, it's on streaming, all the reactions. You heard what the nigga say, even if he deleted everything. No, nigga, we saw you. Just like people trying to say about Devin Haney, which a nigga literally cheated in a fight. And again, I know I apologize for going everywhere. I'm sorry. But if you're a boxing fan, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia whipped that man's ass. Kicked it. Embarrassed that nigga. Gave him his first loss, right? It comes out that he cheated. That he was in his body at the time of that fight. There were illegal substances in his body that were banned from boxing. And then people are clowning Devin Haney for asking for his undefeated record back and celebrating that the loss is a record and saying that the fight is invalid. Nigga. Now, again, it is very weird how the Ryan Garcia situation played out because he was tested before and after the fight and there was nothing found. But like after, like weeks after, now all of a sudden all these drugs in his body. Some people feel he's getting framed because boxing's already unfortunately very rigged and Devin Haney was a big name and he was undefeated. They try to protect their boxers. That all could well be very true. I don't know that. What I do know is there were illegal substances in his body at the time of that fight and he cheated. So he does not only does he deserve the 1 year ban, I would have banned him for 2 or 3 years. But the law, it don't matter. That fight don't count. He was using illegal substances. And the reason why I'm so passionate on that is because this is a violent sport. Like, understand, niggas could die in boxing. Like, some of the knockout, like, I know it's all fun. We're like animalistic creatures and we like to see violence and all that type of stuff. But understand that, like, people can die in these sports. Like, these are very violent. Again, Devin Haney was getting his ass whooped. Like, he could have brained that. Like, the nigga could have seriously gotten hurt from that. And the nigga Ryan Garcia had illegal substances in his body. That I feel should be very clear that fight shouldn't count. People shouldn't be clowning Devin Haney. People should be clowning Ryan Garcia. Now, I always try to be somebody and make both arguments. I do understand the point people making of like, nigga, what was in his body didn't help that nigga box better. It didn't help him. I don't think it made him stronger. Like, the nigga, whether what was in his body or not, the nigga outboxed the Devin Haney, which you can't see me. I'm doing the Drewski meme where he holding his hands up. I mean, fair. But at the end of the day, the nigga broke the rules. He broke the rules twice because he came in overweight. So not only did you come in overweight, and that could be a risk because you're heavier, punches hit harder, your illegal substance in your body, nigga, you cheated. It is what it is. So, to go back to the Drake and Cole thing, I didn't even forgot where I left off on that in that point. But Drake and Metro Boomin. So, as I said earlier, I'll get back to Drake said, Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. Well, goddamn, that nigga shut up and made some drums. Baby, how Trizzy. Baby, how Trizzy. Like, first of all, for a nigga to be singing BBL Drizzy is hilarious. Shout out to, I think it was a TikToker who made the initial thing and then Metro sampled it, and then luckily the nigga ended up getting credit because at first he didn't get credit and Metro like, oh, I didn't know you, here's your credit, etc. But to be smart enough to, because there was, I thought at first there was no way Metro could come back for that because literally his job is to shut up and make drums and make beats, and apparently people felt Metro Boomin only does the drums and production, which I don't, again, I'm not in the studio, I don't know, I don't care either. But he makes the BBL Drizzy beat, and for people who may not be aware, it's said that Drake has had surgery done on his body. Again, Kendrick in Euphoria said, let your core audience stomach that, to tell them where you get your abs from, core, stomach, abdomen, whole scheme. V12 is a machine that would get your abs done, and then Drake, people say he got his nose done, and then for some reason that turned into, especially with Rick Ross, BBL Drizzy, white boy, which Rick calling me the white boy, and that shit kind of got a ring to it. Body after fucking body, yeah, you know, Rick reading my Miranda rights, and they got smoked. But so that turned into people saying Drake out of BBL. So then Metro Boomin samples the BBL Drizzy meme and makes it into a beat, and then proceeded to, which I don't know if somebody's actually going to be a winner, but he literally said, "Hey, I got like 10 grand and a beat for whoever win this contest." Nigga, I almost rapped on the BBL Drizzy beat, nigga. But it blew up, the beat blew up, everybody rapped on it, right? So Metro, phenomenal chess move. I feel Drake did a phenomenal chess move back and rapped on the beat. Baby, Drizzy, I know that you mad. And he flipped it on saying like girls, he paid for BBLs and get him a new body. Like, that was a very great move. I feel that was the only way Drake could have responded to Metro. And peep how he did that first before responding to anything else. Like, in terms of the Kendrick, the other shit, he made sure to get at Metro first. Even Drake acknowledged, like, he dissed Metro like 3 times in his beef between Push-Ups and Family Matters, and then mocking him rapping on his beat, or sample, if you want to be specific. And he even said, like, in Future, like, me and Future never really been into it. Leland Lane, he a fucking lame. He probably had something to do with it. So, yeah, so with that was a funny little part of this battle as well. In terms, if I were to give a winner, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give Metro the win for 2 reasons. Because BBL Drizzy is fucking hilarious, but also Metro proved that the cease and desist thing was true, so that took away points from Drake in the Kendrick battle and between their little beef. So I'm gonna give it to Metro now. But with that all being said, I'm still a fan of all 3. If I were to give my ranking after this battle, I'm not gonna lie, right now, I think, well, put it like this, because I said this when J. Cole first apologized, and I'm gonna stand on this. J. Cole is forever 3rd. Like, I can never realistically put him over Drake and Kendrick because of this apology. Because at least if J. Cole would have did 2 things, one of 2 things. If he either would have never said nothing because he didn't want to in the first place, or if he released 7 Minute Drill and then never responded again, even if Kendrick smoked that nigga, Which Kendrick very nice, because even J. Cole said still smoke him. I would at least gave him a couple bars and just be like, nigga, or even he was calling himself the boogeyman. He could just say nigga's scared of me, or just nigga J. Cole literally said he couldn't sleep after making 7 minutes. That was some weak shit. But so for right now, until further notice, I feel the order is Kendrick, Drake, Cole. I do genuinely believe Drake and J. Cole are better rappers than Kendrick, but especially after all of this, the gap was never that big between them three anyway, but the gap is not that big for me to convincingly say they're like way better, especially after, Kendrick has literally won a battle against one of the rappers, and then the other rapper apologized to him. And even before this, J. Cole has always kind of accepted the bronze medal anyway. So in terms of who I like more between the three, my order is still the same between like Cole, Drake, Kendrick, and then Drake, Cole, Kendrick in terms of better rapper, better music. But as of right now, Kendrick, he the GOAT between them three. The nigga the GOAT, bro. Like, again, he beat Drake, he swept Drake in this battle, and the other rapper apologized to him. You gotta say, as objective, quote unquote, as I can, Kendrick the best of them three. I ain't gonna lie. And right now, before this battle, I felt J. Cole and Lil Wayne were the best rappers active right now. I feel Eminem's the best rapper alive, but he wasn't making music. So I feel Wayne and Cole were the best active rappers, which we still need a Cole and Wayne bar heavy song, and Cole and Eminem. Eminem shot at him on Doomsday Part 2. And I've been at the level J. Cole Bennett, or I'm back with Cole Bennett, and I've been at the level J. Cole Bennett. Crazy. But with all this being said, I'm very, very grateful for everybody that's to this episode. We're an hour and a half in, and this is kind of an old topic, but it's still, again, he still got to release the music video, so it's kind of relevant. And I'm proud. I hope I don't regret recording it even now, even because what if Drake drops something else? People feel Drake should drop something when Kendrick drops a music video. I feel that would be a horrible idea because nobody's gonna care. So he's not gonna, especially once something's already done, you can't really redo it. Like Kendrick already did the whole drop something after you drop something. It's not really good the same, especially since, again, niggas think Kendrick can't do no wrong. The nigga was literally accused of being a woman beater, and niggas just ignored it. So can't do nothing about that. With that being said, I'm really, really grateful for everybody that tuned into this episode. And next time, don't ever hesitate to tell me what's on your mind. Thank you. Bye.